Hello. Hi. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Um, it's time for meditation as usual on Wednesdays. I am Keith. I am your meditation teacher here on this channel. Meditation breaks. If you're brand new to this channel, welcome. If you're coming back, thanks for coming back. Good to see you again. And just a little kind of snapshot of the cadence for these live streams. So first, we're going to introduce meditation kind of one-on-one here. So if you have never meditated before, don't worry. Right. I know there's like a topic for today. We'll get into that, but it doesn't matter. You don't need any sort of like prerequisite knowledge to be here and to benefit from this session. So we'll start with some of those questions. What is meditation? How do we do it? Even if you've already kind of been here and you know that stuff, nice little recap. Then we'll do some breathing meditation together. That'll be our first little foray into what it's like to meditate, right? And then after that, each week we'll focus on a topic that connects to meditation in some way, and then we'll do a meditation on that topic. So today, thematically, with the holidays coming up here, at least in the States, we're going to talk about gratitude and expanding our gratitude towards others. This is my favorite class to teach. It's my favorite meditation. So I do it a decent amount on this channel. I don't think I've done it in a bit, but it's always seems pretty appropriate this time of year. And it connects really well with some of the other classes over the last few weeks that we've been doing. We've really been focusing a lot on the idea of compassion and how we can use meditation to essentially increase our natural tendency to be compassionate towards others, right? So cool. We'll get to that a little bit later, but we're going to start with the basics. And if you are not familiar with my channel, I do encourage you to ask questions. You can ask questions whenever you want. You don't need to like wait for me to be like Q&A. It's happening. Q&A. It's here. So the best way to get your question answered, or if you want to share something, is in the chat. You can see some people already using it. If you do not want to use it, you don't feel comfortable doing so, or for some reason you're like me and you always think of the thing you want to say after it's too late and the stream's over, you can email me. I'm going to give everyone my email towards the end of the stream. So you can always email me any questions you have about meditation. All right. So we're going to get started, and we get started the same way by thinking about what is meditation. And I want you to just when you say that word meditation, what comes to instantly something comes to your mind. I know what it is because I'm a mind reader, of course. No, it's somebody sitting on the floor and they're cross-legged and they look, their hands are like this sometimes, and they look very peaceful. Oh, they look so calm. We want that. I want to do that, right? So this is our generic image of what meditation is. There's even an emoji, that exact position. And so we might start to think, well, this is how I meditate. And this is a way to meditate. You can do so by sitting on the floor with your eyes closed, focusing on your breath and whatnot. But that is not the definition of meditation. It's just a method of doing it. So what is an appropriate definition for meditation? Meditation is a learning tool that you use, like a technique that you use and you hone to train your mind in becoming familiar with things, right? So we don't normally think about our mind becoming familiar with things in that's not like a phrase we use. And yet that is the main job of our mind. That is the main gift of our mind, is becoming familiar with things, right? So if we think about something we're really familiar with, I always use tie my shoe, so I'll do something else. What about riding a bike? Maybe that's not a good word. Not everyone knows how to ride a bike, right? What about jumping up and down? There. This is a strange one. Like jumping up and down, right, in place. Not anything, anything like, requires any sort of high-end acrobatics. But the concept of jumping a little bit off the ground and then landing, you could do very easily right now, right? Yeah, you might not go that high, but you can do it. You don't have to think too hard about the mechanics of jumping, right? But when you were a kid, you didn't know how to jump, right? You didn't even know how to walk. Jumping is, an advanced movement tech that you were not familiar with, right? And so if somebody was like, "Hey, do a jump," you're like, "Uh-huh, I don't know how." And then even if they show you, it's so easy. They're like, try a jump and it doesn't work. So there's probably a video of you trying that at some point. So what happened in between then, jumping being very difficult, right? Or, taking a lot of effort or concentration, and now practice, right? Just practice. So this familiarity, right, is another word for it. Your mind and body becomes so familiar with the mechanics needed to jump a little bit off the ground that you can now do so without putting a lot of mental effort into it, a lot of thought behind it. You can just kind of do it. It's like second nature, we could say, right? And the same is true for all things that our mind becomes familiar with, whether it's learning a new language or whatever you do for work, for your career, for hobbies, and even for mental mind states, right? Which is really what we focus on here. So take something like peacefulness, right? Or being calm and relaxed, stress-free, right? That's most of the reason why people get interested in meditation, right? So how does meditation relax you? Like, how does meditation make you peaceful, right? Really, it doesn't. So what's happening with meditation is it's not pulling peacefulness out of thin air. It is merely a way to get you to become so familiar with the version of you that is peaceful. It's in there, right? It's in there. We want it to come out more often, but meditation helps you get so familiar with that version of yourself that, just like learning how to jump up and down or riding a bike or walking or tying your shoe, once we become super familiar with relaxed us, it shows up more often. It kind of becomes our default. We don't have to put as much effort into having it arise, right? So this concept of familiarity is what I like to think of it's our human superpower, right? So this is our ability to train ourselves to become really familiar with things to the point that it starts to come more natural, right? Now, meditation is a great tool for doing this, right? But it is important to note that this concept of familiarity it goes both ways, right? Like it's, we're obviously going to focus on things like being relaxed and peaceful, but what about anxiety? All right. That's also based in familiarity, right? The first time, like if we have a phobia about something, I've shared before, I have a good amount, right? The first time that we encounter that thing, it's not really a big deal, right? But over time, we start to make this connection, this fear with this thing. We get anxious about it, get worried, right? And our mind becomes so familiar with that what happens? Boom. We go there to that like anxious state when we encounter that thing we're afraid of instantaneously without any effort, right? So this is a really important connection, right? Our mind does what it is familiar with, right? It behaves in the way it's familiar with behaving. So our job with meditation is to train our mind, right? To start to develop choice over what you want to be familiar with. Do you want to be your mind to be so familiar with being relaxed and calm that you don't have to try so hard for that to happen? Right? Cool. So that's all well and good. Right? That's a nice little definition there. Long, sorry. But how do we do it? Right? How do we? What's this practice in meditation? Right? So meditation, more formally, I guess you could call it single-pointed concentration, which all that means is we are choosing to focus on one thing. Now, we're not multitasking. And I know a lot of you probably don't identify as multitaskers, right? But we are all expert multitaskers, right? I'm moving my hands while talking. I'm multitasking, right? My mind is like jumping from thing to thing to make all this stuff happen. If you're taking a drink while watching this, like, there you go, you're multitasking. So our mind has had so much practice doing this that's kind of its default. Like, that's what it's familiar with. So meditation is kind of the opposite of multitasking. And so when we do this, and we're going to do one together in a few moments, don't be surprised if it's maybe more challenging than you thought, right? And that's not because, I'm not good at it, or, this and that. You're just not familiar with doing it, right? It's the same concept as becoming familiar with anything, right? So we are going to do something called breathing meditation. And breathing meditation is, maybe you've done it before, it's pretty common. It is meditation where your breath is what they call the object of your meditation, right? So our focal point is our breath. And there's 3 steps, right? So it's instructionally not that complicated, right? Step 1, we're going to choose to do this, right? We're going to intentionally make a choice, a little promise to ourselves to focus single pointedly on our breath. Sounds, unimportant, but actually it's really, really incredibly important, because sometimes we will have a meditative experience unintentionally. Like if you're ever in the zone, or like flow state, sometimes it's called, that's a similar kind of vibe, feeling to meditation. We're focusing so much on something that what happens? All the other stuff, noises around the office and, the pain in our knee, it starts to kind of like go away, right? It's still there, but it's as if it has faded a little bit, right? So we want to start to train in doing this intentionally, right? And what we're going to do is, so step 1, choose to focus on our breath single pointedly. 2, while you're doing that, and I'll be guiding, so don't worry, you won't be on your own. Whenever you notice that you're no longer 100% exclusively focused on your own breath, we're just going to say not right now to those thoughts. All right? That's our little saying here, not right now. We're not labeling those thoughts as bad, just not now, right? We're taking back onus over where our attention is, what our mind is thinking about moment to moment. So we choose, then we'll notice, and then we'll bring our attention back to our breath, right? Choose to focus single pointedly on our breath, notice when our attention drifts, then guide attention back whenever we notice it has done so. Right? That's it. This is like a little loop, and this is our practice. And what you'll find, hopefully, right, is as you become really, really, really focused on your breath, there's no more room in your mind, or much less room, for all of the other thoughts that are pulling for your attention. The worries about work tomorrow, the things somebody said to you, all the stuff that is clamoring for our minds, grappling for our mind's attention. It's as if it fades away. There's no room for it. Right? So we're going to do a little breathing meditation now. And it's going to be short, like 5 minutes. Don't worry, you're not going to be sitting there forever. So you do not need to sit on the floor. So this is a common misconception about Meditation, you do not need to be on the floor cross-legged in order to meditate. That is a way to meditate, kind of like a traditional sitting position or whatnot, but it doesn't matter. Right? That's the beauty of meditation, right? You can do this wherever, whenever, right? And breathing meditation in particular, I think, is really good for teaching you that you don't need specific conditions to do this. You don't need to go leave your friends away, for 3 months and go up to a mountaintop. No, you can do this right here in your own home, in your favorite chair, your favorite lounging chair. So find a spot that is comfortable, whatever that is to you. Laying down, sitting in a chair like me, or on the floor, doesn't matter. Right? Just make sure you're nice and comfy, and then you can go ahead and close your eyes. And I'm going to guide us through about a 5-minute breathing meditation. Okay. Whenever we start a meditation, just take a moment and check in with yourself. Ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? In this exact moment, how are you feeling? What is your mind up to? Maybe you're feeling tired. You had a long day. Maybe you're feeling energetic, excited. Whatever you're feeling is perfect. We're not doing anything about it. We're just noticing. Practicing being an observer of your own thoughts so you can respond skillfully to those thoughts. Having checked in, you can now make a promise to yourself, a promise to focus single-pointedly on your own breath for the next couple of minutes, and then put that promise into motion. Start focusing on breathing in and breathing out, very gently and very naturally. You do not need to change anything about the way you normally breathe here. No need to take big, deep inhales or forcefully exhale air. Just breathe however you normally do. In and out. Very gently and very naturally. As you begin to relax a little bit into your seat. At some point while you're doing this, you may notice that your attention drifts. It's no longer exclusively on your breath. It's splitting attention. Maybe you're thinking about something that you have to do later, or something that happened earlier today. Whenever you notice that your attention has drifted in this way, we can just say not right now to those thoughts. We will get to them later. You can imagine yourself actually putting those thoughts aside. And then guide your attention back to your breath, back to the promise you made. Breathing in, breathing out, very gently and very naturally. single pointedly focused on each moment of each breath. Can you stay focused on your breath for its entire journey? Can you follow the air as it enters your body when you inhale? Can you visualize that air filling your lungs? Can you feel your chest expanding? Just imagine it. Really visualize the air entering your body when you breathe in. And how about when you breathe out? Can you follow that same air as it leaves your lungs? Can you feel your chest contracting? Can you watch as that air dissipates back into the atmosphere? A moment to moment interest, breathing in, breathing out, very gently, very naturally. As you begin to relax even more into your seat. Keep bringing your attention back to your own breath whenever you notice it drifting. Doesn't matter how many times you need to do this or how often. This little loop of choosing to focus on your breath, noticing when your attention drifts, and then being able to guide your attention back to breathing, that is meditation. You are meditating right now. You're training your mind to access its natural peacefulness. You're training your mind to focus on what you want to focus on. And right now, the only thing that you want to focus on is breathing in and breathing out. Very gently, very naturally, as you fully relax into your seat. And just for the last few moments, just enjoy sitting here, breathing, relaxing. No need to think about anything. Take a little time for yourself. You deserve it. Okay. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Hello. Welcome back. So that was breathing meditation. It's 3 steps. Now, it doesn't mean that it's easy, right? But if you found it to be difficult, yeah, I mean, we never do this, right? So if somebody asked you to go, I don't know, build a rocket ship, we'd be like, unless there's, I don't know, if there's a rocket engineers in here, or, but we'd be like, huh? I don't know. It's hard, right? Something like even as complex as that, or as simple as, hey, focus on your breath. If you're not familiar with it, it's challenging, right? So all that stands in your way between this being challenging and you being able to use this technique to relax when you want to and need to kind of become really familiar with that part of yourself, is just practice. That's it, right? We're all equally adept at meditating, which is great, right? It would stink if that some of us weren't, right? But that's one of the cool things about it, right? We're all the best meditators that ever lived, right? We just got to do a little practicing to kind of get there, to remind our mind that it can focus on one thing and actually it can be enjoyable. Cool. Hey, Rob. All right. So that's a little breathing meditation. And if you have any questions about breathing meditation or anything we talked about so far, please, by all means, you can ask. I'm going to move on to our topic for today. And I'm not going to do too much talking about it because there's a little bit of a longer meditation. I want to try to be mindful of your guys' time. With this meditation we're going to do, and this topic is all about the concept of gratitude and expanding our gratitude towards others. Now, gratitude is a word that is used a lot, right? And I don't know about you, but personally, sometimes I get confused. Like, well, what actually is gratitude? And I have to sit there and think about it. Right? So let's do that. What is this word, right? Gratitude. Thankfulness is probably one of the more common things that come up. And we have Thanksgiving coming up. We're all going to sit around the old table and do what we're thankful for. Go around and say what we're thankful for, right? So that's a word that's often used with gratitude, and yeah, it's a huge part of it. I like to expand it a little bit, right? So I think about gratitude as the recognition of the importance of something or someone. Antonio, kindness. That's a great one. Right? And that kindness comes more naturally when we recognize the importance of something. So there's a connection between this idea of gratitude and natural compassion. And we've been talking a lot about natural compassion over the last couple of weeks, and it's one of the most transformative things you can use meditation to focus on, to become familiar with, in my opinion, because having natural compassion means that we don't have to go out of our way to be kinder, right? We just start to think in that way, the same as, our mind becomes familiar with riding a bike or whatnot. It's just, it thinks in this way, in like a more compassionate way, right? So our goal here is to not have to put so much effort into doing all these good things. Okay, so gratitude, the recognition of the importance of something or someone, and then there is a end to this definition, and it's really, really important. And it's developing the wish to repay that kindness, like to repay that thing or person that is really important to your life, right? So that's what Antonio was hitting on here, kindness. Right? So what kind of things are we grateful for? I mean, look, this is not our first Thanksgiving here. What kind of things are said, right? So sometimes those things are things, right, that we're grateful for. A job, house, maybe something like health, a little more abstract, right? these things, they all come from other people, right? Our job comes from other people. Our house built by other people. Our health maintained by us, but also by others, right? So people are kind of at the core of all of these things that we're grateful for. Now, sometimes we're just straight up grateful for people, right? We'll say, in my parents, I'm grateful for my parents or my friends, right? Or my coworkers, they're so great, But rarely do we ever kind of expand that group of people that we're thankful for, right? Nobody's sitting around the Thanksgiving table saying, "Oh, I'm super grateful for the grocery store clerk down at the grocery store nearby." Right? Doesn't really get mentioned, right? And yet, grocery store clerk is a massively important part of our life, right? So, there is built in, kind of just instinctually, this idea of like tiers of importance. Think of it like a circle, right? And at the center, oh, that's us, or you, or for me, it's me, right? And that's not like we're selfish. That's just kind of how we've developed thinking, right? So here's us, and then what happens? Friends and family, they're next. They're like the next most important, right? Then maybe acquaintances, and then everyone else, right? Like strangers, you could say, or like the grocery store clerk, right? Finding your strength and love. I love that, Antonio. It's beautiful. Right? And we can look at an example to see how this tier system of importance affects how we think about situations and our compassion in situations, right? So let's say you wake up and you go outside, go to your mailbox, you do a little double take, spit out your coffee. I don't know, you're in like your robe or something. Your car is missing, right? And you do a little detective work and you realize your car must have been stolen, right? Now, this sets you into, naturally, a flurry of anxious thoughts and worries. How could this happen? How am I going to afford to pay for another car? I got to get to work. Like, all these thoughts start to flood our mind, right? Okay. Doesn't feel very good. Rewind. Woo. We walk outside, and we're getting our mail, drinking our coffee, and our best friend in the whole world calls us. Right? Been friends forever. You're not going to believe this. My car was just stolen. That's what they say to us, right? And so what's your reaction to your friend saying that? There's compassion there, right? That's horrible. How could that happen? Do you need a ride to work? Like, anything you need, you just let me know, right? Rewind again. Okay. So we walk outside, we drink our coffee, we get in the mail, and we overhear two people we've never seen before. They're like walking around the neighborhood or something. And we overhear one of them say, "Yeah," and then his car got stolen. Right? And so usually we don't think much of this at all. We might not even kind of like register it. Maximum, we're probably like, "Man, that stinks." And sometimes we'll even say a really interesting phrase. "Glad that didn't happen to me." Oh, you ever said that? I say it all the time, right? So this is a really interesting phrase. We say it a lot, right? And what is that implying, right? It's implying that I'm glad that this person is suffering. I know what that suffering's like. If my car was stolen, that'd be catastrophic. So they are not feeling super great about this. And I am happy that it happened to them instead of me, right? So it's like a weird kind of philosophy to drill into our mind. We say it a lot, right? And so what is the difference here in response? Compassion increases the closer it is to us, right? So when it's our car, a lot of compassion. Like, how could this happen? Like, there's all this stuff going on. Even like panic. There's so much. Like, it's such an acute problem. Like, friend, some compassion there. Still an acute problem. Like, you want to help them. And as it gets further and further to strangers, it's like we just don't even think about it, right? So this is the window into how we can increase our natural compassion. What we want to do is we want to start to think about and recognize how important those kind of stranger tier people are, right? So compassionate people feel closer to other experiences, good or bad. Yeah, so like if it's personal, right, be it good or bad, it's a very acute feeling. Yeah, Andre, exactly, right? So what we want to do, and we're focusing on kind of like the compassion side of that, is we want to think about all those strangers, and we want to identify if they're actually really important to us, because this tier system is based on importance to us, right? Our family, our friends are important to us. We recognize their importance and thus have gratitude, natural compassion, natural gratitude for them. We recognize their importance, their kindness, and we even want to repay that kindness. Example with the car, right? We want to repay the kindness that our friend has shown us by being there for them in their, when they need us. Right? So what we're going to do is a fun meditation where we're going to think of our life as like a movie. And if you ever stuck around to the credits of a movie, which doesn't happen very often, we kind of get up and go, you start to see a lot of names, right? And we might stick around for the credits if, there was like an actor or actress that were like, oh, they were incredible. Right? I got to know who they were so I can, see what other movies they're in. Right? So, we're like, we see their name come up. They're like probably the first or second one listed. And then we're like, oh, they were great. Right? And then we don't ever wait around for the rest. Right? But if we did, I don't know, we're finishing our popcorn. We're going to notice something. There's a lot of names in those credits. Right? Jobs we never even heard of. Right? We didn't know existed. Are an integral part of making this movie, right? This movie that we enjoyed. And we might think, oh yeah, they're not that important, but like they are, all right? Like, I don't know if you've ever watched a movie with bad audio. It's not great. It's not very enjoyable. And so the audio department, who gets overlooked very, very often in the credits, they are super integral to the enjoyment we've had watching this film. So we're going to think about our life like this. We're gonna and we're gonna focus just on like our day, because we don't have time to do our whole life right now. You can do that exploration on your own. So we're gonna think about our day, and we're gonna start to pick out some kind of routine things that we are doing throughout the day, and we're going to look a little deeper into them and find who made these things possible, who makes it possible that I get to do these things, enjoy these things, go to these places, like throughout our day, right? Essentially, who's in the credits, right? Because that's at the core of gratitude, is expanding the credits list. Right now, it's only a couple names, but we're going to expand it. And that's going to help us develop natural compassion for other people. We don't have to try so hard to want to help, to give back, because we recognize how important those other people are. Cool? I love this meditation. It's my favorite, and I hope you enjoy it. So get nice and comfy. You can sit in whatever position you deem worthy. Just make sure you're relatively comfortable, And you can go ahead and close your eyes. We'll start by just doing a little bit of breathing, and then I'm going to guide us through this exercise, meditation on gratitude. Okay. Take a moment and check in. How are you feeling right now? We're not comparing it to before. Before is done. Just now. What's your mind up to? Just observing. And having checked in, you can once again, just for a little while, make a promise to yourself. Turn your full attention to your breath, breathing in, breathing out. Very gently, very naturally. Whenever you notice your attention drifting, no big deal. We can just say not right now to those thoughts. Put them aside. Imagine yourself placing them to the side. And then guide your attention back to breathing. In and out. Gently, naturally. And just checking again. If your attention has drifted, no big deal. We can place those thoughts aside and guide your focus back to your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Gently, naturally. Feel yourself relax into your seat. Today we spoke about gratitude, the idea of recognizing the importance of other people and what the output of that is. Natural compassion. And so, with our mind feeling a little bit more relaxed from breathing meditation, even just a little, we're going to think deeply about this idea, gratitude. We're going to contemplate it. We're going to meditate on gratitude. So you can just follow along with what I'm saying and enjoy. This morning, when you woke up, you presumably woke up in some sort of a apartment or room, your home. Who built that room, that home? Maybe a contractor, construction worker, crew. Other people. They use tools to construct that home, that apartment that you woke up in. Who made those tools? Other people. Those tools made from materials gathered, mined by other people still. Countless individuals that we've never met and likely never will meet. Intimately involved, responsible for building this home, this place of sanctuary for us where we wake up every morning, this place of safety. How kind of them to do that for us. Maybe you woke up on a bed, head resting on a pillow, soft sheets, a comforter. Who made all of these things? Other people. The mattress, everything, painstakingly designed so that you get as restful a sleep as possible. You can wake up energized, ready to take on your day. Countless individuals involved. Maybe you took a shower. Who ran all of that plumbing to get water to your shower? Other people. Somebody invented a way for you to select the exact temperature of the water in your shower so that you can choose exactly how you like it, to have the most refreshing shower possible. Somebody spent a lot of time inventing this. Someone we don't know. But still, they're very important to us. Maybe you had some breakfast, a piece of fruit. Think of all the people that are responsible for putting that piece of fruit in your hand. Someone planted the seeds, tended to the crops, harvested them, selected the best produce. It was packaged using materials developed by countless individuals in a factory. That packaged fruit was put on a truck driven possibly from very far away. And that truck driver spending time away from their family, their friends, to deliver this fruit to a grocery store near you. A grocery store which is painstakingly organized daily so that you can go in, find a piece of fruit that you like, and go about your day. Countless individuals responsible for that piece of fruit being in your hand, for nourishing your body. Now, you might be thinking, it's a natural thought. Yeah, but I paid for the fruit. I paid for my home, my apartment. I paid for my mattress. I paid for it with my money. Where did you get that money? From your job? Your job run by countless individuals, the person that hired you taking a chance on you over so many other candidates that would love that job. How kind of them to do that. And then you may be thinking, well, I was the best candidate, so that's why I got the job. Who taught you the skills that made you the best candidate? Who taught you how to read, to write, to present yourself, to dress yourself, to write a resume? We were not born with those skills. They were taught to us by people, family, friends, teachers, TV, media. Everything we have, every skill we have, every item that we cherish, it all comes from other people. If we were to give back everything that somebody had a hand in helping us get, we would have nothing left. Even your body comes from your parents. There's a tendency to feel very independent in the world. But really, we are interdependent. We need each other. And not just friends and family. Everyone. Every individual, vitally important. In our day, our life. So, for the last few moments, what I'd like you to do is think about your own day, even just a portion of it. Replay it like a movie in your mind. And see if there's any extras in the movie that maybe you hadn't considered being an intimate part of your day. And if you start to develop some warmth, compassion, gratitude towards those people, sit with that. This is your mind becoming familiar with the truth that there are countless people in our lives that are incredibly important, that we can have gratitude for. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. I love this meditation. Not only do I think it's kind of like engaging, like it's fun, but it is very beautiful. It's a great message, and the best part is you don't need to meditate to do this, right? So meditation, as we talked about at the top of the hour, is just a technique to familiarize your mind with something. Repetition, right? This is a great concept to think about outside of meditation. We don't look. I'm a meditation teacher, and I don't have, most of my day is not spent meditating, right? So we got a lot of time to practice, right? Can we put some of these concepts into practice outside of meditation? And this is a great one, right? Next time you go and you get a cup of coffee, right? Think about all the people that were responsible for putting that cup of coffee in your hand. Who made the cup? Right? Naturally we're like, well, the barista there is helpful, amazing. There we go. Go deeper. Who made the machines? Right? Where'd the beans come from? There's so many people involved in everything that we do. Like, you just look around your room and you will never run out of options. So the opportunity to kind of make your mind really familiar with this concept is there for you. And the output of you becoming really familiar with this is developing natural compassion again. This is like the culmination of all the things we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, right? Developing this kind of innate compassion through recognizing how important other people are, all other people. And then we don't have to try so hard to do good things, right? To give back. We're going to just naturally want to do that, right? Cool. So thank you for being here tonight. I love teaching, and I could not do that without you. So I have gratitude for you. Right? There we go. Perfect encapsulation of what we were talking about. So that's our class for today. If you did enjoy it, great. I usually stream every Wednesday. Now, the next 2 weeks I am traveling, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess. I'm going to visit some family, and then I have to go to an event for work. So the next 2 weeks I will not be streaming, but I will be back after that. And we got a great meditation coming up there. It's all about the idea of giving and what that means, and some interesting ways you can start to think about giving. So I won't see you in 2 weeks, but if you did enjoy it, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. All of my older classes are up there. So in those 2 weeks, if you're like, I'd love to learn a little bit about anxiety, that's why I'm interested in meditation, Keith, not gratitude. That's fine. You can go and check out my old videos there. So thanks to anyone who does choose to subscribe. Very helpful to me. Means a lot. Thank you. And finally, if you are interested in doing any private instruction for meditation, you want to see, where you can go with this, I do one-on-one classes. I do them mostly virtually, just because everyone's all over the place. I'm in Colorado, so if you happen to be local, we could meet up. But I do them virtually. It's very laid back, and we can focus on something that's very, that you want to really kind of use meditation to help with. So like anxiety is a good one. If that's interesting to you, or you got any questions about anything we talked about today or whatnot, you can always email me. And I want to put my email in the chat right now. It is keith@meditationbreaks.com. Meditationbreaks.com. Correctly spelled, I hope. That's my email. Feel free to email me any questions that you have, or if you want to do set up a one-on-one, or just like talk more about what that means, you can just email me. Would love to hear from you. And thank you again everyone for being here. I'm just going to catch up on some of the chats here. Tom, thank you. Thank you, man. Love you too, my friend. Dude, so good to hear from you. I hope you're doing okay. Rosa, thank you for. It's so awesome to see so many people coming back. I feel like like we become like friends over the years. It's so cool. Tracy found this channel through Internet Social Coordinator. I'll be meeting her for the first time this weekend. This meditation is reminding me, like, yes, Tracy, amazing. I'm so glad that you found this. That's so cool. Yeah, great way to just immediately bring this lesson into real life. That's awesome. Yeah. Antonio, thanks for being here. Everyone, thank you so much. I appreciate all you, love all you, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. All right. Take care.